Hey everyone, it's your favorite hostesses with the mostesses, Marcus and
Karmea Wells on Orthodox Southern Belle.
And today you all are in for a treat. We have some very special guests coming to the show today. They are changing the game, and we're going to have a very fun, dynamic conversation about dating, marriage, relationships, and everything in between. And we are live. This is also our call-in special episode where audience members can call in, argue, disagree, friendly banter, everything, all the things, and we can get to the heart of it and maybe even solve some problems tonight on this live episode. How you feeling, Karmea?
I'm feeling really good. I can't wait for us to get into it.
Get into it, and that we shall. The first guest we'd like to introduce coming to the stage today is our very special guest. We had the distinct honor of interviewing her on the show earlier today. This is Miss Nikki Corbett, an incredible woman, podcast influencer, aspiring author, coming to the stage here today to help us get through some of these debate questions and these topics. She is absolutely been changing the game, and just a pleasure to have on the show. We really enjoy her. She's the host of the Scarlet Edit, not to be confused with the Scarlet novel piece, but her podcast talks about dating, relationships, marriage, fupas, and everything in between. So help me welcome to the stage the incredible Miss Nikki Corbett of the Scarlet Edit.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. You look fantastic. Love the glasses.
Thank you.
Fashionista.
Being is important.
Fashionista. I love it. And this is going to be a jam-packed episode. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm super excited. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know what directions we're going to go, but I'm ready.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. This is going to be jam-packed. And so you guys are in for a treat tonight. This conversation, this next special lady we have coming to the show, her name, she was with me from the beginning, y'all. She was one of my very first guests on the podcast and an incredible influencer, author, business consultant. I couldn't have found a better aspiring woman. This woman, no. Kill me. I need something better than that. Where's my... Oh, there she is. Yeah. The music you're hearing today is brought to you by an up-and-coming artist down in North Carolina, Janelle. Shout out to Janelle. Get her album. Her album is out now. She wrote this incredible love song, this memoir. We had the pleasure of interviewing on the show. But Toshiba Billings coming to the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. Consultant, business professional, woman. She's in the game, in the room tonight, helping us peel back the layers. Help me welcome to the stage, Miss Toshiba Billings.
I'm loving the song now.
Janelle, that song is brought to you by Janelle on our upcoming album. Check her out. We love to promote small businesses, large businesses. We support all. And so, ladies, thank you for joining us on the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. You all look fantastic, and I am excited to dive in. I am the only man here on the stage, so for my brothers out there in the stage, have my back, all right? And pray for me. We're going to work through this. So, good night, everyone. So,
Good evening.
So, pray for me, y'all. I'm about to throw my first questions here. Actually, no, go ahead. Ladies first. I'm a gentleman. This is a Gentleman Style Podcast. Ladies, ask me a question, and I will do my best. No?
Oh, okay. No. I'll go. No, I'll go.
Okay, here we go.
So we're in the red flags episode. So
yes,
first, I want to see. Matter of fact, I'm going to come out just blazing. When it comes to the red flags, we're in a society now where we're based a lot around looks. What men say that they want a woman to look like, in order for them to actually say that, oh, I'm going to come into, her life and actually do for her, if they even at that level to do. So for yourself as a man, how do you feel about that when men are going by society standards on what they see on social media in order to say, well, this is the only way I'm going to even court a woman. She has to look like this, and that. They have to have a big ass. Excuse my language. It's going to get rough. They have to have a big ass. They have to have a nice rack. They got to have a flat tummy. They got to have thighs, hips. They got to be built this way in order for me to even talk to them. But yet they're not even able to support themselves financially, or they're not even emotionally intelligent, but they want all of that. Go for it.
Great question. That's a very great question. So I think the men that are out there hearting and liking and loving the pictures of the BBW model or the influencer model or the woman that's not doesn't even know your name, I think those men are not the quality or the type of man that you would even date, that most women would date. I think real men mean what they say. Real men mean what they say. So when they say they love you for you, a real man knows what that means. But for the men that they want to love the influencer, the body, the bangs, the perfect hair, the perfect tits, the perfect everything, that is not the guy most women will even entertain for real, right? That's not the person that's for you, right? Because a real man knows, a real man knows, in my opinion, her body goes through changes. Now, I will say, I'll speak to the other side of the house, because I know this is what you're actually looking for. The guys that do like those women and fall in love with those women, those are just entertainment. That's not you're putting yourself in a category of women that you are not, right? You don't have a BBW, or you don't have all the things, right? All the aesthetics that a man is attracted to. That is just for fun. So me liking her photo and me liking your photo are two different things, because you're the one I'll actually take home to mom. You're the one I'll actually marry. You're the one that actually will go the distance. That woman is just for a one night stand. And so I think women should not categorize themselves who don't see themselves in that space. You're not an influencer. Do you charge $1,000 to go on a date with you? No. Right. But those women do. And those are women. I think I saw it one time, this influencer, she brought one of her fans onto, and she met them in person and took a photo with him. And the reason why she brought the guy onto the fan page is because the guy spent $1 million on her, in all her subscribers, all her influencer page. The man has spent $1 million on all her stuff. That's why she went and met him. That's not the guy you'd marry. That's not even financially. That doesn't even make sense financially to do as a man. So that's how I'll respond to that question. Any thoughts, ladies? Counter arguments?
We're
Anyone
talking
can.
about. You're talking about yourself directly.
Okay.
But if you were talking to someone who, there's a lot of trollers, and there's a lot of men who think a different way, that feel like, like we talked about, like they're the prize, even though they're nothing close to it. That feel like that I need to have that woman that's built that way from what I'm seeing, whether I got it like that financially, whether I got it together mentally, whether I got it together emotionally, just because I'm a man and you should.
I'm really trying. I'm trying to hear you. Yep.
What you mean you trying to hear me? What's wrong?
No, I'm listening. I have to listen.
No, I'm because clearly we know with you're a different type. You're a different type, but the type I'm talking to, if you're that type, you know exactly what I'm talking to. You can get in the comments and say how you feel. But there are men out here who continuously are reaching for stars when they really should stay on underground.
I don't think it's wrong. If I see Toshiba, or if a man sees Toshiba or Miss Nikki or sees you, I don't think it's wrong for a man to believe in himself to approach you. I especially as bad as dating is today, I think shoot for the stars. Buddy, shoot your shot. Go for it. Go for Karmea. Go for Nikki. Shoot your shot. The worst Miss Nikki, I don't know what Miss Nikki will do. The worst Miss Nikki could say is no, right? At best, at worst, she could pull out a gun and say, "Get away from me." But
well, I almost think that what she might be insinuating,
Yeah.
and Karmea, tell me if I'm wrong, but I almost think that you're kind of saying that in this case, you are thinking that these men are more expecting you to approach them and be like, oh, hey, blah, 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 and when they are like not even on your level?
Well, not necessarily for them to approach us. I mean, not necessarily for us to approach them, but they're expecting us just to, knowing if you're at a certain level, or it doesn't matter, or them reaching out to females that they want, but they can't afford, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally, they're just not there yet, but that's what they want. And they're just like, oh, well, I deserve it because I'm the man. And some of them, like I said, they'll be shooting for the stars when they should be underground. They believe they're the prize, but really you're just that little small toy in the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. And anybody can get it. You haven't built yourself to even close. Don't get me wrong. You could have the confidence to try, but I'm going to need you to understand where you're at. Understand where you're at and build to it. You know, that's something I heard a gentleman say the other day. And this is another thing, you know, looking at a woman, whether they, you know, especially if they keep themselves up and things like that, every woman is different. They have standards. And this is one thing about the financial part. Said every woman, you know, women are expensive. You just need to pick one in your price range. If that's not your price range, then you need to go find the one that is.
So what I hear also is I don't think I'm gonna disagree partly with you for the sake of banter. You can't want a finished product. I think it's absolutely okay for me to approach you if I'm not where you are, but I have aspirations and I'm actively, visibly working towards the things that you look for in a partner. I don't think a man who's not where you are should not apply pressure. So, quote unquote, using women terminology. I think a man can aspire to whatever his partner, as long, and again, I say this tongue in cheek, right? There are men who are just comfortable, and that doesn't sound like the guy for you, right? Who's just comfortable, they're set in their ways, they're stuck. But a man can aspire to what you want, if you believe in him, if you support him. And so he may not look a certain way. Looks can change. He may not have the financial status. His finances can change. So I go back to what I said. Men should still apply pressure, even if she seems like she's out of my league. Because again, it's what am I going to do? I'm going to go for less? No, I want the best of the best. I feel I deserve the best. So I'm going to shoot my shot to the best. And if she shoots me down, I should still try again. I shouldn't give up. I shouldn't look at other women and say, this woman is out of my league. The question, Miss Tasha asked, Karmea, can you repeat the question? But great question, Miss Tasha. Repeat the question for those tuning in or just joining in, Karmea, if you can.
Which one? I had a multi-parter. I had a multi-parter.
You did, or something. So our Venice, for our audio listeners, Venice Davis says some men have wandering eyes and continuously want the better and the better woman. They will never be satisfied. They are not financially stable, let alone emotionally stable. Some of them need to go see a shrink and get themselves together. Or some think because they look good, that's all they need to get any woman.
But here's the problem. There are women who will respond to both of those things, right? Like, as women, I think we are the moral fabrics of society. That's how it's always been. And when a man shoots a shot at a particular woman that he wants and he gets a positive result, that is positive reinforcement. And so what he's going to keep doing is shooting his shot at better and better women, because if you respond positively to him, that is, again, positive reinforcement. I don't need to change because I'm getting the result I want. If we don't respond positively to him and we do negative reinforcement, that tells that man to be better, get better, and he'll get in the gym, he'll educate himself, he'll get a better job. Like, all of those things happen when men are negatively reinforced by not getting what it is that they want. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say, as a woman, if that man isn't what you want, whether it's emotional intelligence, financial, whatever it is, you don't have to be rude, but don't give him the positive reinforcement. And I'm sorry, there are too many women sitting around out there having babies for men that they shouldn't even told their first names to. And so those same men, guess what? Because they're getting these positive reinforcement, they keep doing the same thing. So the answer should just be no, sir. You're not in a space where I think we can date. You're not intentional. You're not all of those things. And so I'm just not in a space that I want to date you. But the moment you give that person that positive reinforcement, they're going to have that belief. It's the same thing with children. When you positively reinforce bad behavior, children keep having bad behavior. So there are men where their bad behaviors are positively reinforced by the women they want responding to them positively. That's my 2 cents.
I appreciate the 2 cents. Any other sense in there? Great question. Great question. Round of applause for everyone here. All right. 6 points for me, 2 points for the ladies. All right.
Wow, that's crazy.
Absolutely. I'm gonna ask my question. Antoine, I see you, brother. I'm gonna ask my question and then we'll jump there. Is being too busy, ladies, you tell me, is being too busy to text back a red flag or just modern dating?
I think it totally depends on where you are in the relationship. Because and first I want to say, I don't think busy, like everybody's busy. There's no such thing as busy. Like busy is an excuse because you can be the busiest person in the world. And if somebody texts you that you really want to respond to, you will find time, whether it's walking down the hall from meeting to meeting, whether it's going to the bathroom, whether it's in a car ride, you will find time. Now, that being said, I do think that there is a lot going on these days with the early stages of dating. I see like screenshots on social media where people will, just drag a guy for, not texting them at the appropriate or with enough time or whatever it may be when they haven't even gone on a date yet. And I'm just like, okay, that to me is a little much, because if you haven't even met somebody yet and you're expecting these like immediate responses or constant communication, I think that's a little too much. But I think that if you're actively dating somebody or in a relationship, like that's like the beginning and that's the fun part. Like that's when you should be like, that's the giddiness, like the butterflies, like the, ooh, I'm so like lusting after this person. Like you should be wanting to text them back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a big communication thing. Even when you're in the beginning stages, as long as we have some type of communication, we don't have to be doing it every 30 minutes, every hour, but let me know something. If, even if you be like, oh, I have a long day today, I'll text you back later tonight. The multiple days without saying anything, that's the part where it's like, okay, look, should I just keep moving it along or what's going on? Give me something.
Yeah. Totally. 100%.
And I'm going to jump in for a second and say, the question is, did you set your expectations? I think we're going into dating without a plan. Like I'm a planner and I'm an intentional person and I'm very much put it on the line. This is who I am. So my love languages are quality time and words of affirmation. I let people know that. And this is what this means to me, right? This is not just words. This is what this means for Toshiba. Here is where you can show your interest in me by doing X, Y, and Z. I generally date very busy men because I like to date successful men, and successful men are busy men. And so therefore, and I'm also busy with all of the list of things that I do on my day-to-day. However, if you set your expectations in the beginning and you let someone know, here is my expectation, and they're either going to rise the occasion and meet it or they are not. It's simply that. Men show you how they feel about you through their actions and their words. And if their actions don't align with their words or their words don't align with their actions, they simply do not like you. And you just carry it on and move forward. No harm, no foul, we're done.
She only dates high value men for that's by the Kevin Samuels.
Not my words.
That's the Kevin Samuels thesaurus
My word.
concept here.
But I like busy men because I like successful
Same.
men, because I like a man with a plan, and I like an intentional man.
Mhm.
And when a man has intentionally built himself up, he'll be intentionally about marrying me. I don't have time for people who are going with the flow. I'm not water.
I
Like,
love that. Big planner
love
too.
that.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with everything she just said. Absolutely.
Antoine Harris asked a question. Antoine Queres, my man in the comments said, brother, what are your thoughts on when a woman thinks the man is too high maintenance? Anyone can tag his question or respond.
when a man is too high maintenance?
When you
Yeah.
say high maintenance, he wants too much, or what? Give
Yeah.
me
Like he takes too
something.
long to get ready. Like, what are we talking about? High maintenance? Does he have a lot
What
of
is
beauty
high maintenance?
appointments?
Does he
Yeah.
have?
I think this is a follow-up. I think this is a follow-up to the BBW question that Karmea asked, right? So when a woman is aesthetically pleasing, she got all the surgery, she got all the things. Antoine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's responding to that question that Karmea first started with. So the problem was a man who likes those things. So what I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Antoine, what are your thoughts on when a woman thinks the man is too high maintenance? Is he wrong for keeping himself up, getting surgery? Would y'all date a man who had surgery? Or
Surgery is what? Sorry.
you can have a penis
I need to
enhancement
know-
surgery. There's stuff out there for
What?
men. There's not a lot. There's not a big list.
What exactly are the hairstyle costs more than hers? My God, what are you getting, honey? Are you getting a lace front?
No. Haircuts are getting expensive.
I know that.
A man unit is $200+.
I know.
man
That's why I'm
unit
like,
is-
are you getting a lace front? Like, what's happening?
You don't listen. What happens in the barbershop stays in the barbershop. But again, men's haircuts are getting up there in cost. I'm sticking by my brother in the comments. Antoine, it is getting expensive. Barbers are getting ridiculous. No, I let my hair. Also, he does do braids. He probably has braids. He probably has a fro.
Oh, you let your hair grow. So you have a maintenance routine for your own hair to keep it long and luscious. I understand that. You're taking care of yourself. That's a part of your self-care.
Amen. That was essentially going to be, thank you, Karmea. That is exactly what it is. Every woman wants a man who smells good, looks good, tastes good, all the goods. So
Really?
all of it. So please take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself inside and out, because please, we don't want any what Cheryl 7 said, dusties inside and out to deal with. Please.
Dusties? I'm getting old. Dusty. Okay. So it sounds like, Antoine, ladies are making the transition. They're okay with it. They're okay if you got a routine and you taking care of yourself. I guess the times have truly changed, right? I like a hard-working man. He got to have dirt under his fingernails. I guess that is being phased out.
You could be hardworking, but please take care of yourself as well. Like,
correct.
You could be hardworking, but you could still be presentable. Just like as women, we have to keep ourselves up around the clock. Not saying we have to be out here on the red carpet 24/7, but being presentable is just keep yourself up inside and out.
Correct.
She says no. Big no. Big N-O.
Big no.
That was that to the lace front, or
He said he wears cologne. I keep my nails clean and have boundaries. Okay.
I love that.
Do all of it.
Stand up, king. Stand up, king.
Do
I'm
it.
support of this.
That's a part of self-care.
Absolutely. So, fellas, it's okay. We can.
I believe it's a red flag if a man does not take care of themselves. If you do not if you don't take care of yourself on the inside, especially and the outside, the inside most importantly, you don't go to the doctor. You don't know what a routine physical is. You don't go to the dentist when you know your mouth is connected to so much. That is a red flag.
Amen.
Girl, yes. The dentist is
Gingivitis.
so important.
Gingivitis dancing on the tongue.
Tap dancing.
I'm gonna use that. That is good.
Love it. This is great. This is our call-in episode, y'all. So anytime you guys can call in. and debate with us. This is good. I like where this is going. Is it my turn? I think it's my turn. I think I got jumped, but my man Antoine, we holding on. We holding on, brother. So my question is ghosting ever justified? Always, or is that toxic? I know Nikki, you twisted up so bad. So I'm gonna plug. I'm gonna do it. No problem. So for Miss Nikki expressed this at length at on our podcast interview. For those not familiar, go check that out. But go ahead if anybody wants to tune in and tag that.
I'm gonna jump in unless Miss Nikki wants to go first, because you did lean back, girl. You lean back, but
hard.
Here's the thing. How much of an explanation do you owe someone in the beginning stages of talking, right? So going back actually to what something Miss Nikki said to one of the other questions, it depends on where you are in this courtship. If this is the beginning stages and you have one or two conversations and you just don't click and you never call each other again, then I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything. Let's move on our ways. However, if we are actively dating and we are actively engaged with each other on a daily basis, and then you go ghost after 2-3 months of continual conversation and getting together and so forth, I do believe that you, out of respect, because I'm a big respect person, I think respectfully, I would tell somebody, and I would expect any man that I have that level of engagement with to say, hey, we've gotten to the point where I need to step back. And if they have an explanation of why they're doing that, to let me know, because there's something about closure that we need as people. My degree's in psychology, and I'm telling you, people will hold on to things that are just hanging there. They need closure. So yes, if I am actively dating you, we're actively in a courtship or a relationship, I think ghosting is not the way to go. But if we're just in the talking stages and we just don't click, then I don't owe you anything and you don't owe me anything. Those are my
thoughts. Yes. I definitely agree with Toshiba about it, because it depends on what stage you're at with that person. Now, if you're in the midst of, like she said, you're going through that process and you've been talking for a while, and all of a sudden crickets. I'm like, oh, you just became a red flag, because we have no clue where we are at this moment, but we've been talking for over close to 4 or 5 months. Now that person is not answering. And God forbid if you got an iPhone and you see that they read it.
Oh God!
Oh,
right?
Hell will break loose. The person who sit there reading it and say nothing, definitely the red flag. You're the red flag. It's just that easy.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've pretty much both said everything that I would have said. I mean, I think sometimes people get so worked up too early with all of these things. And, if you've only had a few conversations with somebody, if you haven't even been out, it's like you can just keep on going. But if you've been talking to somebody, if you've been on dates with somebody, if you've been having regular communication with somebody, then you've got to say something. You can't just disappear. It's totally unfair. But unfortunately, it seems like that's common. I mean, and I would be lying if I said that I imagine I've probably done that to someone I've been on one date with, but certainly not more.
Can I I hear you, ladies. You all make valid points. Strong points, very strong points. I'll say this. When I used to date, I ghosted often, and I ghosted a lot. Reason being, what I think one of the problems is, and I've heard these stories a long time where women feel like their time was wasted. Men feel like their time was wasted because they'll go months and months and months just to discover, oh, you're married, or they'll go months and months and months and, oh, you wanna just chill, or you're wasting time. What I advocate for, what I've always advocated for, is we all need to become better at picking. And so I can tell within the first 1 or 2 conversations that I'm not the man for you, and we don't go together. I got really good at picking. And so I went on very few first dates, and I went on even less second dates, because I can distinguish very early that I'm not the one for you. So I ghosted often. because I got really good at identifying the characteristics, the personalities that go good for me. And I think we all need to do that. I think I've gotten to the point, I used to be at the point where I would pay attention to someone's medical without them even realizing that I'm paying attention to their medical. Your great grandma died at an early age. Your mom had 6 surgeries in the past 7 months. Your sister has a medical condition. You have a medical condition. Your sister, cousin, your dad have high blood pressure. Everybody in your family haven't lived past the age of 70 years old. I pay attention to those kinds of things. And I think let me speak to men. I think men need to get really good at identifying those things and pay attention to those things so you don't waste your time and her time. And so I ghosted often. And I think it's okay because just like you said, I don't owe you a conversation if I just talked to you once. I don't owe you an explanation if I just met you.
Someone's given you their entire family medical history over just a couple of conversations.
It's definitely giving my chart download.
No. So I'm a podcaster, right? You forget I'm a podcaster. I've been doing this since 2014. I am really good at asking questions. Am I wrong?
No,
so
so
I can get a lot of information really quickly. And I listen to those verbal cues. Hey, what's your relationship with your parents? Oh, I hate my parents. I grew up in foster care. Out of the gate, they're telling me exactly what their family dynamic is. Mm-hmm. So I don't need to waste a whole lot of your time. You grew up in foster care. Have you met your biological parents? No, I haven't met my mom. That tells me something about you. So in 1 or 2 conversations, I don't even have to go on a date with you to know I'm not the man for you.
But that's not ghosting, Marcus. I don't know if that's ghosting. And I think maybe I'm old, right? I'm gonna put my age up there. I'm 45 years old, right? And so maybe this is new kids lingo or something, but I don't think that's ghosting. I think that's dating with intention, right? Mm-hmm. And as someone who is dating with intention, I'm the same way. If I find that in a conversation or 2, or even after the first date, like, Nikki said previously, if we just are not a match, we're going our separate ways. I don't consider that ghosting. I'm dating with intention. And to your point, I'm not wasting my time, nor do I want to waste your time because this isn't going to go any further than the date here. And I think time is the most valuable resources we have as human beings. For me, ghosting would be what I described previously of you're actually having regular interactions with this person, potentially feelings are involved, and now this person goes crickets, like Karmea said, all of a sudden now they've stopped talking to you. You don't know what you've done, you don't know what you've said. To me, that's ghosting because that has an emotional impact. If we went on 1 date, or we had a couple of conversations, there's no emotional attachment. At least there shouldn't be, because that's cray-cray. But if you've invested months and months into someone and then they step back with no explanation, that's ghosting. But again, maybe this is my older age definition of ghosting and the young kids got something different.
I mean, I agree with you on the definition, and I'm 2 years older than you. So I think either it's us or we're right on.
So I got some flack apparently. Sounds a bit. Are you talking to me, Ms. Tasha? I'm judgmental. I pray to God she's talking to me. Antoine, that is not ghosting. Okay, Antoine, toxic. Remember that old school saying, don't start no ish, won't be no ish. If you don't have intentions on staying, stop playing. That's someone's future spouse that you may be damaging. Right.
Let somebody else's wife or husband go.
Go, please. Mm-hmm. And I do that quick. I'm a person who believes we should fail fast, right? Especially at the age that I'm at. I'm a divorced woman looking to one day remarry by the grace of God and my dead daddy. Hey, daddy. Right? So I am looking to marry. So I fail fast. And I fail fast by asking, I actually asked very similar questions to you, Marcus. My degrees in psychology.
Sorry, we have a caller calling into the show.
Thompson. To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
This is Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Caller, what's your name and where you're from?
Crystal Thompson from Virginia.
Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Thank you for being here. We have the cast. Everybody's here to answer your question. What you got for us, girl?
What are your thoughts on women being the provider of the household, the main financial provider?
Who's she talking to?
It-
That's me. Who you want to answer that question? Let me be clear.
I'm open to everyone. I'm open to everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ladies first.
If that's
I think-
if that no, go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think if that's what the couple wants, then that's what you should do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are some cases where there's some women who, they get out, they start a career and they accelerate and they get to a point where they're just killing it. And it makes sense for them to, especially if they want to have a family, it makes sense for them to stay working and for their husband to be the stay-at-home dad. I think it's very individual. I don't think that we should say it's one way or the other is right or wrong. I don't know. That's just my thought. I mean, I personally wouldn't I like a more traditional situation. So I wouldn't necessarily seek that out, but I mean, I have no idea, because were I in that position where that was my life path, then I might think differently. But I think that it's just very, very individual. I don't think it's like you can say one way or the other should be how it is.
I'm going to add to that. I completely agree with Nikki. I don't think relationships are one size fits all. And that's the issue that I'm having with conversations about relationship these days. People believe that there's a one size fits all concept of a relationship. If two people in a relationship have sat down and determined that this dynamic works for them, and they are both comfortable with what that position is, then I say just go for it, right? It's the both of you have to lay down in the bed together, excluding anybody outside of your relationship. However, my biggest thing is make sure that the woman doesn't have any resentment towards the man, or the man doesn't have any resentment towards the woman, because a lot of men define themselves by their ability to provide for their family. So if you take that away from a man, he might have some potential resentment. And so if you have sat down and you have acknowledged that there is no resentment, this dynamic simply works. And again, it's not that he's not working. It might just mean that she makes more money for whatever the reason might be. She might be a doctor and he might be an artist, right? But if they have kids, that dynamic might work because they're not having to worry about sending the kids to babysitters or daycares or whatever the case might be because of their schedules. But my biggest thing would be, I just want to make sure that there's no underlying resentment between any of the two people in the relationship. And if there's not, go be it. That's your relationship. Don't get other people involved.
I also definitely believe that's something that needs to be, because especially in our society, and sometimes some people can get wrapped up in social media and what society says and what other people may say. They could start thinking, I think there need to be check-ins regarding that too. So everyone continues to be on the same page, because what you said 15 years ago may not be the same thing now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
So can a woman be the provider? Great points everyone said. Can a woman be the provider? I agree with all of you guys. I think that needs to be negotiated very early on, and find out what your partner, what dynamic you and your partner play in that relationship. Whether who's going to handle what. If the man is supposed to handle all the responsibilities, and have that conversation fairly early. Don't make the mistake of getting into a marriage with expectations that you have not communicated.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so we got another caller. So don't enter a relationship where you have not communicated your expectations. Too many divorces, too many marriages fail due to uncommunicated expectations. So
Amen.
Communicate often, communicate well, and
Communication.
communicate as much as possible, and have that discussion fairly early on. Did I answer your question, Ms. Thompson?
From Arturo. To accept.
Oh, he hung up. He hung up. So great question. Caller, call back. We missed you. Sorry about that. We are a very dynamic cast. We get very in the zone, but we're thorough.
Yeah.
So sorry we missed
Yeah.
that, caller. We got some comments. Fiscal responsibility is on both parties. Provision is more than money. Provision is absolutely more than money, I feel. A man provides, a woman provides in very unique ways outside of the dollar. So the dollar is that thing is loud, Jesus. This is the Gentleman Style Podcast show. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name's Arturo. I'm calling from Colorado.
Hey, Joe. How are you? You said Joe. Forgive me.
Arturo.
Arturo. I like that name. I like that name.
That's right.
Good name. Good name. Arturo, how can we help
Thank
you? You are on the Gentleman Style Podcast show. I got an incredible panel here to answer all your questions while I cower in the back. I'm just kidding.
Yo, what up, guys? So, I mean, I see that the question being posed right now on the stream is, can a woman be a provider to the household? And I think that a much more interesting question is, does a woman want to be a provider to the household? Because I'm sure that there are plenty of women that would say that they are completely fine with that. I'm sure that there is a good amount of women that if they say that they mean it. But I think that what is more likely is that would really just lead to resentment towards the man on the woman's part. So I thought it was an interesting question.
It is ladies, would you want, I think some of them have said that they answered that portion. Ladies, would you want to be the provider in your marriage?
Respectfully, no.
No.
That's a no.
Respectfully, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I don't.
Okay, so that's definitely kind of what I figured, and I mean I feel like that is kind of to be expected, but I think that really that the cultural dialogue needs to change. I mean, can a woman be a provider in the household? I think we all know the answer to that question. I really don't think there's much to be discussed there, but I think it's a lot more interesting to dig into how the ladies feel about do they want to.
I think that there's also something to be said for the head of the household is, and I think some of the reasons too that all three of us were saying that no, we wouldn't want to do that is because if you think about what women traditionally are responsible for within the home, and then if you add to that what being the financial provider, that likely means a pretty high-powered job, a lot of responsibility, a lot of things going on to be successful at that job and in that career. And then when you add on to that, like, having to be responsible for paying all the bills, be responsible for cleaning the house or facilitating somebody to clean the house, getting groceries, taking care of kids, making dinner. If it's all of those responsibilities on top of being the financial provider, that is a lot. And yes, there's plenty of women out there that are doing all of that right now on their own. But when it comes down to it, if they are women who are out there looking for a partner, when they want that partner, it's because they want that like sense of just relaxation and sense of feeling that somebody has got their back and that somebody can take care of them. So I think that this is more nuanced than just who's going to be the sole financial provider, because there's so many other things that are traditional roles that we do fall into when we are in relationship with somebody. So I think that that's another reason why, I know it's another reason why I was saying no.
I'm going to agree with Nikki, like traditionally, it's just not how I was raised. My father was a provider. That is what I saw. He was a great provider until the day he passed away. That's the structure I saw. That's the structure I had in my marriage. And that's the structure I want in my, hopefully again, second marriage. It's just, I'm going to tell you, going back to that word that I use, and Arturo used the same word, resentment. I would resent my husband if I was expected to carry all the bills and then cook, clean, and turn tricks in the bedroom. Like at this point, like now you're doing too much. Like, so now I got to do all of that, look sexy, go to the gym, make sure my face card is right, make sure everything is good, and then suck your dick. No.
Perfect.
Oh,
Period.
can I say that?
Perfect. Now, caller, are you still there? Caller, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm glad you said that, Toshiba. What if you just paid all the bills and you didn't have to do that other stuff? What if the man wanted to stay home and cook, clean, pick the kids up from school, drop them off, do all the other things so that all you did was pay for the bills and expenses of the household? Would you still not go for that?
At 45 years old, the way I was raised, that's weird to me. Like, again, I'm just going to speak for Toshiba. I'm all about what other dynamics work for other people. And for some people, that dynamic is great. And I'm so very blessed and happy for them. For me, the way I was brought up, the way I was raised, what I saw, what my expectations were, what it is, that just doesn't align with my value system. Like, I don't want that for my life. And I would honestly resent my husband if I was expected to do all of those things. It just would not work for me. I just don't see. Not for me. Mm-mm.
I beg the question. I throw this out there. I beg the question. You wouldn't want that in a relationship, and you wouldn't want to do all those things. You do all those things now in your singleness. You do all those things while you're single. So when someone is willing to take,
they don't detract from, right? Like that. That's what we need to think about when we're in relationships. People are adding to, they're not detracting. So I'm going to add someone else. So now I'm providing for an extra mouth. I'm cooking for an extra mouth. I'm doing all of those things for the extra mouth. And what are they giving me other than dick?
All the things that you do now by yourself.
So they're not cooking, cleaning, and
I said that. They're cooking, they're cleaning, they're picking the kids up, they're dropping them off. All you have to do. I'm a traditional woman, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. Traditionally, like, it doesn't work. Like, I'm the woman who cooks all her man's food. I'm the woman who wakes up. If my man's going to work at 4 o'clock, I'm waking up at 3 o'clock to make him his lunch and his dinner. Like, I wash all the clothes. I clean. Like, it doesn't work for me. And again, I'm not saying, because good for Crystal that she's been able to do that. I'm not saying it doesn't work for other women, but it does not work for the core of who I am. I'm gonna be honest. I'm going to resent my man. And then I'm just not going to be sexually attracted to him. Because now I've lost that sexual attraction to him because no, thank you. Mm-mm. You're doing my laundry. Are you washing my panties? Like, what are we talking about? Are you like folding them up and putting them on the bed or putting them away when I'm at work? No. That's hot. I will fold my girl clothes all day. Okay.
I'm sick, but don't be folding it because I'm out here paying all the mortgage while that. No, it doesn't work for me.
Well, I think one other thing too is that when women are really in that role, especially like with a financial role, I think it puts us more into our masculine energy. And even if you're doing all of those things right now as a single woman and you want a relationship with a man, it's one of the reasons why is because you want to be in your feminine energy with that man. Mm-hmm. So if you're still keeping that financial responsibility and taking care of everything at the home, you are going to get to that point where you're just in your masculine all the time because you're not going to feel like you can drop into your feminine and be in that space because he's the one taking control and he's the one providing.
Understood. Mm-hmm. Great question, ladies. I'm gonna engage with the audience here. I think it's you all's turn. To ask the fellas a question. If I'm paying all the bills and she refuses to provide for our fun time, she gotta go. You're not about to save up around me just to turn around and say you're doing it on your own.
Amen. I agree with him.
That's a real fear.
That's a discussion though. Like, why are people going into and falling into relationships? Are we 12? Like seriously, like how are people just falling into relationships and not having discussion? With my ex, my last relationship, I was engaged to be married, and we had very clear parameters around our relationship and how things would go while we were engaged and how things would change while we were married, right? Like, there were set things that were understood. And he did pay all the bills, but I had the investments, I bought the stocks, I had, savings for our fun times. I took him on dates. Like, we had very clear lines about how this relationship was going to be run. So I'm really trying to understand at our big age, how as grown adults, are we falling in love? Like, are we falling and we just in the midst of falling, like we're not having discussions and communicating our wants, needs, and desires, expectations, boundaries, right? Like non-negotiables. Like, where are these conversations in the middle of us falling in love? If someone is doing that, it's because you didn't set clear expectations. Mm.
Understand, ladies. That is good. That is juicy, juicy. Ladies, it's your turn to ask a question.
What's that? I have one.
Go ahead,
good.
Karmea, because I was not prepared. I don't have nothing written down.
Okay. So, I've been seeing this in society too, that there's a lot of men that want to lead. Do you, this is a question to you, Marcus, and people in the comments. Do you guys feel that they just want the position, or they actually want to put in the work to be the man of the house to actually lead?
So,
because men can scream all day that I'm the man in the house, I run this, but are they willing to actually put in the work, or do they just want the position?
So you're right. I think men.
Which part, Marcus?
You're right in the sense that I think men want the position because there's a lot of men who don't have a father figure or grew up without a father figure, for an example. So they don't know what leadership or stewardship means. So by default, I think you're right. In communities where the father is not home or present, or he's actively working to pay the bills, that is a real thing, and men lack what stewardship or leadership means because we're not having those conversations. I think you're right by default. Now, what is I default back to what I said. I think men can aspire to the things that you all want, that women want to see in their man, and they can achieve the things if they have the right stewardship, the right mentorship. One of the things I dislike the argument around single motherhood, right? You need to get your male sons around a male example. I do not believe in trying to do it all yourself. You're exhausted, you're burnt out. Women are killing themselves because they're overwhelmed. You need to get a community of men around your young men so they can see what that stewardship and fall better into place and align better to what you all ladies are expecting. I don't think men are there's not enough places and avenues and support systems to pour into men the way that women get poured into. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, that women are getting poured into, but there's not enough places for a man to display excellence. There's not enough places for me to show you that I can lead and I exude the skills that you all are looking for. And that needs to change. I don't encourage any man who grew up in a single mother household to sit there and tote the bandwagon of I'm a leader, I can lead you, girl. No, you can't. You don't have any fresh examples of what leadership and love and affection and romance looks like. You don't know. And I can't expect that from someone who doesn't know. But I think men can aspire to it. I think men can learn if they have the emotional intelligence to listen to you, and also be poured back into. We need to support our men and believe in our men again. I hope and I pray. That's my prayer and my desire is that women start believing in our men again. And I want to be an advocate. I'm not putting this out to anyone but myself. I want to be a resource for men. Right. That's why we do these podcasts. That's why I influence. That's why we do these things, because I want men to have a space where they can communicate and they can get poured into and say, when I approach and I shoot my shot at Karmea or I shoot my shot at Nikki, I know I have some tools that Nikki does not have because Nikki's never been a man. and that is of value to her in a relationship, in a monogamous relationship, or whatever the discussion is, right?
Mhm.
And so there are things that Nikki is looking for that I am ready to fill those voids. But a lot of men are falling short because they don't have it. They don't have it. We don't have it. But we need to be open to learn. But we also need to put resources around our men so that they can have the tools like you women have been poured into. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with women doing well, but we're leaving our men behind.
I this is just to add to that, because me as a
Sure.
woman, I came from, like Toshiba, I came from a 2-parent household. I saw my father provide. Of course, our parents are not perfect, but I saw him provide, I saw him hold it down and put in his, instill in me the values and stuff that I needed. It was like my parents were old school. They was in there, they was born in the 1950s. So you could figure how old school they was to now. And then my father was ex-military. There's certain stuff they instilled in us that they just knew that when y'all get older, y'all gonna be dealing with some shit in the dating world. So when I got out here, you had so many, and still today, you got so many males that scream, "I'm the man. Are you gonna treat me like a king?" They want that position. They want to be treated like that, but they're not leading like that. Nothing about them shows that they should even be in that position. They're gonna lead somebody straight to the depths of hell. They're not built for it, but they're screaming at the top of their lungs. They'll be roaring all day like the top lion, but they don't have it. And there's some men who were given a chance, but they fumbled it. But they still want that position, but they don't want to do the work to get better. They don't want to actually show that they can do it.
Karmea, you said the key word position, right? And I'm about to take all the romance out of a relationship. Because a relationship is a job, right? We have positions, we have roles. Not everybody's meant to be a CEO, right? That's why we have leaders. And somebody's asking a question. Okay, I'll stop and you can go to the question. And I'll come back.
This is the Gentleman Style Podcast show. We have a live caller calling in. We have our panelists here to answer your questions. Caller, where you from and what's your name?
I am Alex, and I am from Georgia.
Alex from Georgia. Welcome to the show, brother. You have a question for us?
Yes, sir. I have a few questions. Well, it's for the men and women, of course, and it is. Hold on, I just heard it down. Sorry, let me go back in here. But honestly, calling you guys is a very, very excitement. I'm running. Hold on. There we go.
You're very excited?
That is correct.
Okay,
there we go. All right. I have a question.
Yes.
Would it be bad for a partner to feel like no love is being given to them while the other partner feels like they are giving and receiving all the love?
One more time.
What?
One more time.
Yeah,
One more
one more
time. So we can really dive in with you and feel that with you, Alex.
Would it be bad for a partner to feel like there is no love being given to them while the other partner feels like both love is being given and received to that other partner? Like,
Imbalance in a relationship. Like one
Yeah,
person
that's-
is getting the love.
yeah.
One person's giving all of their attention and stuff to the other person, and they're getting all of that, but they're not receiving it back.
That is absolutely valid. That's a valid feeling to not be poured back into. That's why you hear couples all the time say, I am not being poured into. My cup is empty. When you're pouring into someone and they're reciprocating it, you're never pouring from an empty cup because they're always giving back and you don't have to have concern around it. But no, it's absolutely a valid feeling to feel that way.
Alex, I'm gonna jump in for a second because I think this is where some of those foundation questions sometimes we miss. So I have a
Up.
Oh,
with my ex fiance.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can. You were frozen.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I have a show that I started 4 years ago with my ex fiance called "Fuck Your Feelings," the show. And on one episode, what we did was I was in a conversation with my ex at the time, and we started talking about the concept of love. And I posed a question about what was our individual relationship with love, not loving each other, but love itself, the concept of love. And what we end up doing is writing a love letter to love and our relationship with love. Because I think sometimes what happens is we don't understand what somebody's core relationship with love is. Because if their foundation of love is broken, whether it is that they grew up in a dysfunctional family, whether it is they were in single parent homes, whatever it is, their core foundation of love is broken. It's sometimes it's virtually impossible for them to have a loving relationship with you when they have a complicated relationship with love. And so I think sometimes we need to take it back and ask a person, what's their relationship with love? And you can do what I did, which was write a love letter to actual love, the concept of love. And then another thing I did with my partner is I went to him and I asked him, how can I love you better? Because I'm loving you the way I know how, but am I loving you in a way that you can receive or are receiving? And when we truly love someone, we want to get down to the core of those things, because there's nothing worse than being an unhappy person in a relationship or feeling like you're making someone unhappy. However, if we don't understand the basic foundation, just the core of how somebody views the concept of love, because if someone views the concept of love very negatively, it is impossible for them to love you positively. So those are my 2 cents.
Anyone else?
No,
I think she crushed that one. Yeah.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Mic drop.
That was amazing.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest.
Absolutely. Alex,
But
great question. Yep, go ahead.
I also, if you wouldn't mind, until another caller comes on, I'm good at asking questions. Another one, would it be a healthy relationship with one asexual person, which means they do not like anything sexual, but they do romantically, and one hypersexual individual, which is somebody who can be romantic but is mostly sexual? Do you think they could be a good pair? Yes or no?
Well,
I think that would be really hard.
I think that's hard.
I think that would be super hard. I mean, the person who wants sex is going to want sex, and it might be okay for the beginning, but eventually the person that wants sex is going to want sex. So you're going to either have to make an agreement that that person can have sex with outside of the relationship, or it probably wouldn't last long term. That's my initial gut reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I want to add some love on with that. I want to tack on to the great word that Miss Nikki said. It's going to be hard. It's going to be extremely hard for that to combine. What you want to avoid though is shaming each other. Each partner not avoiding making the other person feel bad for their wants and desires. And that is a mutual conversation with 2 respectful people being respectful of their desires. So if I'm asexual, hey, don't tell me I'm wrong. Don't tell me I'm weird. Don't make me feel bad about being asexual. And if I am a very sexual person, don't make me feel bad either. And just saying, like Miss Nikki said, have some boundaries set. Ms. Toshiba said it also as well earlier. Have some boundaries set with, okay, how can we make this work? What does that look like where I can do all the romantic things, it just ain't gonna lead to sex. I'm gonna go sleep right afterwards. After I done romanced you and wine and dined you and did all the things that appeal to you and make you feel good, whether publicly or privately, but it's not gonna always lead to sex. And that's okay. It's okay for people to be themselves. We just need to get around people that understand us, understand where we're at, and say, what is the exception to this relationship? And make those exceptions. We need to respect each other. going into relationships, but we
Yes.
also need to not try and change people or expect to change people.
Amen.
Try not to change. We should not be doing that.
Amen.
I describe relationships as a canvas, a blank canvas. When I go into every relationship, whether it be this person, that person, I start from scratch. I don't come with any preconceived notions from previous relationships or any trauma from past relationships. I start blank. And I let this person paint the picture for me. And I need to step back and look at it and say, do I agree with this picture? And that's it.
Yeah.
Don't make them feel bad. Don't tell them you're wrong. Why did you paint the nose that way? Stop it. Let the picture develop. Let them show you who they are. And then you decide if you want to continue painting or you're going to walk away. But no one should be making anybody feel bad in that communication.
And, I think too, the longer I do my podcast is about relationships, and the more people that I talk to about different types of relationships, the more I learn and see, what types of things are going on out in the world. And, if you have great communication and you have the love and you have the friendship and you are great roommates and you live well together and you have fun together and you can do all of those things, I think that there are more and more people that are choosing to stay together and allow certain needs to be met outside of the relationship because they have so much of what they need in that relationship. And then, as long as there's good communication, they're finding they can, get everything met with doing other things. But it's really making sure, like Marcus was saying, that there's no shaming and keeping lines of communication open and not comparing to other relationships or other people. So, it's definitely tough, but I feel like, you have to have a conversation and figure out what's best.
And I'm going to add, romantic love is underrated, right? Like, it's an underrated concept to have romantic love. And I'm just going to add to both of the points that have already been made. Respectfully, you can have the relationship dynamic that works for the two people. I think we said this earlier. If the relationship dynamic is such that you're like, our romantic love is fine, but the area that we need help in is sexually, then have a relationship structure that allows, to Ms. Nikki's point, to go ahead and for that hypersexual person to potentially have outside relationships. So have an open relationship. Maybe that open relationship satisfies that hypersexual person. It's just there for sex, protected sex, making sure that they're being safe when they do that, but they have the core of the other aspects of the relationship. It's that 80-20 rule, right? Maybe they're getting 80% of what they want from that romantic relationship, and they get their other 20 outside. And that doesn't work for everybody, right? It's not everybody's relationship dynamic, but if it works for the two people that are in that relationship, and I think you explore it. And if then that doesn't work, then, cut ties.
Great points. Alex, did that help, brother?
That did, but I will say one way that the reason why I asked that specifically is because I had a relationship with somebody for about 2 years, and they were asexual while I was hypersexual. We made it work to where the first part was extremely hard to get through, but we did. And we, every now and then we could, I guess, how do I word this?
You're good. Take your time. Feel through it. You're good.
We would go out on dates and stuff, and then we would eventually make out, but that would be the extent of it, because I would never want to push that boundary. Therefore, I just did as much as they wanted me to.
Until it was not comfortable for them. You were trying to respect them.
Yes, correct. And while I was doing that, I guess it felt better for me as well, instead of just sitting there and, talking about feelings, which that's good too. But of course, the sexual part is kind of habit. But yeah.
But you were causing harm to yourself.
Yeah, I eventually noticed that, and that led to the downfall because they noticed before I did, and they didn't want to hurt me anymore, and said, I had to get through with that. But we're still friends now. There's no hard feelings, and you're a lovely person.
Absolutely. It's a balance. It's a balance for sure. And when things become uncompromising where you can't, sometimes you need to walk away. Now, in this environment, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. I'll quote the Michelle Obama book, Becoming. Was it Becoming?
Yes.
Becoming, where she said there were days that she didn't like her husband. She didn't like her partner. She wasn't happy with Barack. But do I respect you? Do I love you? Is there a need for me to really leave? That is a constant. In relationship, you're constantly asking your question, is there more good than bad? Are there more good days? Are there more bad days? And not to keep a record, but your happiness also matters. Your happiness also matters. And finding that balance is not easy, but it can be worth it when it's done correctly with the right person. But it's not easy. It's never. That's why it takes 9 months to have a baby. Most things in life, Alex, as you'll find as you continue to grow and learn and see the world, most things in life that are worth it are difficult. If it was easy, everybody'd have it, right?
Amen.
A solid, loving, nurturing relationship is not easy, but that's what makes it worth it.
It's a job position.
It's a full-time committed to.
Yeah.
It's a full-time thing, but it takes two people to make it work.
Salary.
It takes two. It takes two people to make it work. So it's hard, but it's still worth it. I believe so, and I'll tote that.
Amen.
Alex. Did that help, Alex?
Thank you. That really does. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yep.
Do you mind if I keep asking questions?
I am fine. My panel, there. What does my panel feel? You guys got another one in you?
Yes, I'm good. I touched most of the time. I'm good.
We go for it, Alex. Go for it.
Thank you. I've been wanting to ask some people some relationship questions. So
you are on the right show.
One thing is, I've always been told both ways of this question. Is jealousy a sign of love or just insecurity?
Ooh, great question.
Great question.
That is a great question.
Who wants to go first?
I got something to say.
Wait
a minute. I want someone to repeat the question so I make sure I got it right.
Is jealousy a sign of love or insecurity?
I look at that as something based on the person as well as their experiences with the person and their past experiences. Is this someone who brings up their past quite often or haven't healed from their past? Is it someone who currently if you guys had issues currently in your relationship that you're in, and that was something that you did or that person did? I have experienced it that it could have been the person that did something. Not myself, but the person who did something, and now they feel certain types of ways about maybe other friends or things like that based off of, okay, they did something, so it's like, I don't know how to feel about them and how they're going about with, like, say for example, if the person has like friends that are of the opposite sex, they messed up or whatever, but they feel some type of way about your friends that are of the opposite sex. Not saying it's not sure whether they never really make it clear on whether they feel like you will mess up. It's always that the person is going to do something, or I don't trust the person. But really, we're not really, the person's not really sure whether it's them.
Yeah.
Whether it's them that really has the problem or not, or they may not ever come to terms with it. That's why I'm asking: is there any situations involved from the past?
You want examples from Alex? Are you saying?
Yeah.
Alex, you have an example to share to help with the answer.
I can give you 3.
Okay,
Mhm.
please.
Yeah,
please.
He's ready. He's got
One
receipts.
example. Yeah. One example is. Oh, sorry, I'm just so awkward about this. But yeah,
Don't be.
one question.
This is family. We family now. You in it, Alex. You in it. You're
Thank
good.
you.
It's
Thank
a
you.
loving space.
We are trusting with everything, except in the back of my mind, personally, I don't know. I can't read their thoughts. But in the back of my mind, I've been cheated on, broken up with, the whole thing a lot. So I always have a thought that somebody is just out to get me or like going to end it soon. So I'm scared that I will lose the person I love. The second one would be when we're just out here in public. I have to, maybe I can only have 2. Because I was trying to think of another one as well. I'm ADHD. I think a lot of things at the same time.
You're good. You're good.
Basically, I heard from this partner recently about what they think of jealousy, and they think of it as like
Did you lose him?
They think it's
I
a
don't
bad
know how
thing.
to word it.
They think it's a bad thing.
They think yeah.
They think jealousy
Sorry,
is a
keep going.
bad thing. Okay. Does that help, ladies? Would give you?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Nikki.
Go ahead. Nikki.
So I was going to say, as far as, first of all, I just want to say, I'm sorry that you've been through so much in your relationship history. I mean, feeling betrayed and feeling hurt is never fun. Now, I think though that there is really something to be said for giving somebody a clean slate when you start over new with them, and working on your own mindset where you can believe that you are worthy of a great relationship and you are worthy of somebody who loves you for who you are. And that just because you have been cheated on in the past or because you've been betrayed in the past, that doesn't mean that this next person is going to do that to you. I really do believe that we can almost manifest things into existence. And if we spend too much time worrying about the what ifs in life, we can make ourselves really unhappy. So I think that it would be wise to take a look at the relationship that you're in and, look at it for what it is. Have you felt betrayed? Have you felt, unhappy? Does this person make you feel badly? And if not, then try to look at them for who they are and not let the fear of past partners and their betrayal seep their way into a what if game about this current relationship. But to go to your initial question of, is jealousy about love or is it insecurity? It's a really interesting question you pose, because I think on one hand, I think people sometimes say like the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And so on one hand, I can look at jealousy and think, well, if you're feeling jealous about somebody, you definitely aren't indifferent, right? That means you do have some sort of emotion for them. But I do think that for the most part, jealousy is rooted in some sort of insecurity. I mean, there can be little things where maybe your friend won concert tickets to your favorite band and you're like, oh, I wish that was me. And maybe you feel like a twinge of jealousy. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a normal reaction. But I think in relationship, you know, you do have to analyze, like, okay, why am I feeling jealous? Like, where is this jealousy stemming from? And is it valid? Has this person done something that should make me feel jealous? Or is this my past creeping into my present and I want to squash that because I want a future?
That was so nice, Nikki. That was so nice. Alex, can I be blunt with this answer before I go? Because do you want my real answer? Or do you want my politically correct answer?
Whichever one you seem fit.
Okay, Alex, you don't get to internalize your trauma and then dump that onto other people. You don't get to do that in life, right? We don't get to take what someone else has done to you and then internalize that, and then dump that on me and expect me to make up for every woman who has cheated on you. I was cheated on by my husband. My husband had babies on me. Babies, plural, on me. I did not take that and then trauma dump that on every other man who came after him because of something that he did. Other people are not responsible for other people's past mistakes. And so if you are in a place where you cannot separate your old from your new, you need to take a step back, get some therapy, work through whatever you're going through, because it is unfair for the new person to pay for the ghost of your past. And to, like Nikki's point, if someone has done something to you, right, and you can say, oh my God, this behavior is creating this reaction from me, that's very different. But based on what I'm hearing, you're saying, this is what's happened to me in the past, so I'm taking my past and I'm bringing it into the future. That relationship does not stand a chance. And you are literally like projecting so much negativity onto someone else who does not deserve it. And I get it. Cheating sucks. Like I said, I've been cheated on. I've cheated on the man who changed my last name. He promised to love, honor, and obey and had 3 babies on me. I could have taken that and said, all men are horrible and all of this is bad and men are this and men are that. That was that man. That man did bad things to me. And it still didn't make him a bad man. He did bad things that resulted in the end of our marriage. And so you have to learn to let go of your past demons to allow yourself to have a very productive and bright future. So that's my comment.
Alex, can I take a swing at it? So for me, I when you have something precious, when you have a diamond, something incredible, something beautiful, you protect it with your life. And when I appreciate and when I value you, you're gonna know it and you're gonna feel it and I think most people in relationships want that feeling. Jealousy for me, what needs to happen that speaks to the therapy piece, what needs to happen is she's right. Therapy will help you will help me or anyone who appears to be jealous. It will help you set boundaries because there is a line, right? Hiding in someone's bushes is never okay. That's extreme and that can lead to jail. But having someone that wants you and cares about you, I want someone to be concerned where I'm at. I want someone to care about me. I want someone to know that they have my back. If I'm hit by a car, they want me. I want to be wanted. What I need to understand, or what anybody, I'm not speaking to you in general, I'm speaking generally or broadly, what people need to have is boundaries. There are a boundary that needs to be said. So that needs to be discovered and find out what my partner's boundaries are. What is acceptable? Because there are women out there, or there are partners out there, there are men out there who don't want someone underneath them. And you might have heard that term. I don't want somebody up underneath me all the time. That's a boundary that needs to be discovered. But I think as a whole, we all want someone to want us. And I want to be with someone that wants me and has my best interests at heart. I'll give you a piece of scripture for me. And this is very controversial, but I believe it with my heart's heart. I told my partner that at the end of the day, when we get married, nothing comes before them.
Amen.
Nothing will come before them. That means if my dog is sick and she's sick, I'm going to be with her. I do not care about the dog at that point. I want, and she knows that. She knows this because I scream it to high heaven. That and that goes even a step further with kids. She could be in a car driving with our kids, and the car accident, and for some strange reason, one ambulance takes her to one hospital and the other ambulance takes our kid to a different hospital. I am going to go be with my partner. I will backtrack and follow up and check on my child, but I made a commitment, a covenant to this woman. And the child is a byproduct of my love and affection for this woman, this person. And so that child will be all right. My partner is my priority in all things, in all facets. And I think that's okay. I think that's what's missing. Is what you focus on is what you keep. When you hear about someone that is, they care about you, they're concerned about you, I think that's okay. But again, if I'm outside your bushes, I need access to your cell phone. There are boundaries, Alex. There are boundaries, and a therapist can help you work and discover what those boundaries may look like. Does that help, Alex? All right. This is a fantastic conversation. We lost our guest, but Alex, sir, I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And everyone tuning in, this has been a phenomenal conversation. You guys are awesome. As we close out, as we end the show, we want to end on a good note. These are some great questions, y'all. Ladies first, any final words for our audience that tuned in, our followers, your followers, anyone? Any final words, starting with Miss Nikki?
Oh, I just want to say, hey, great questions, great conversation. I really loved being a part of this. So it was so nice to be here. So thank you so much, Marcus, for including me.
Absolutely. The honor is always ours. Miss Toshiba, any final words, any final thoughts for that young girl, that young boy out in the audience watching you right now? Any final words and nuggets for them?
Oh my God. So first of all, thank you, Marcus, for having me. And secondly, let's keep these conversations going. I also have a show. I'm just going to do a quick plug. I have a YouTube show where I also talk about relationships. It's called Fuck Your Feelings, the show. I know, very controversial. But I believe in respectful discourse, and I believe in having these conversations, because the only way for us to get better in this world is to continually have conversations, even if we don't always agree with each other. So continue the conversations, ask questions. My father used to say, if you don't ask questions, you don't have answers. And so keep asking the questions, keep having these respectful discourse, and keep trying to find a nugget of truth out there in the world. That is my last words.
Great.
No, I love that. My dad used to say something very similar. He used to say, if you don't ask, you don't get. So
there we go.
I love it. I love it. And I just want to take 1 second and plug my show, since I didn't do that. I have a show about relationships called The Scarlet Edit. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Apple, Spotify, all the things. I would love your views, listens, comments, all the things. So come check me out.
Whoop,
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Karmea, any final words for our audience?
I love this conversation, and I think this is a conversation that need to happen off the podcast, you guys, for the people in the comments, for the viewers. We could have a friendly, civil conversation. We don't have to be screaming at each other. We don't have to be throwing things. These are conversations that need to be had even while you're single. So it can get you prepared for if you want to be connected to someone.
Amen.
And if you guys want a part 2, let us know in the comments. Give us a heads up, leave comments, let us know, what you guys want to talk about, if you want another part 2, excuse me.
Absolutely. Great comments, great feedback, y'all. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys. I will end it like this. Especially in this political climate. I've said this throughout the show, but for anyone tuning in, thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you all. We all love you guys. With anything you do in this world, tomorrow, next week, Tuesday, the year after, lead with love. Always
Amen.
lead with love in all things that you do. There's enough hate, there's enough violence, there's enough crime. We're killing each other in the streets. We're doing all the negative things. Try it, give it a shot. If you're not used to it, because again, there's a lot of negative things pouring into us. The next time you have an opportunity to shout, cuss, scream, yell, try and lead with love in all that you do and change the world for the better. It only takes one person. So we appreciate you guys.
Amen.
Awesome. All right,
Thank
y'all.
you.
This has been a fantastic show. We got part 2 in the comments. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Venice. Thank you all for tuning in. We love you guys. We will be reaching out. Like we end every show. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. And always take care of business. This is Marcus, your favorite host, and
Karmea Wells, the Unorthodox Southern Belle.
And
Nikki
Toshiba
Corbett, the
Billings.
Scarlet edit.
we both said Toshiba Billings will hurt your feelings the show.
absolutely.
Nikki Corbett from the Scarlet edit.
Absolutely. We love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.